Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take a stack of dense federal documents and, well, some pretty confusing research notes and give you the crystal clear roadmap you really need.
Exactly.
Today, we are unpacking a policy shift that impacts nearly every American receiving federal benefits. We're talking about the mandatory end of paper checks.
That's a huge change.
And our mission today is critical. We need to fully understand this transition, clear up a major confusion about which banks can even handle federal direct deposits, and arm you with the digital security knowledge you need to navigate this whole thing safely.
That is the task. We're diving into the specifics of the federal electronic payment mandate. It was solidified by Executive Order 14247, which sets a pretty firm timeline for late 2025 and into 2026.
And a big part of this is that misconception we've heard about.
A huge part. We're going to dismantle this idea that major banks, and we heard specifically about BMO, are somehow unable to process SSA or VA direct deposits. The truth is, every recipient needs to choose one of two paths.
And we'll cover both.
We will. It's either direct deposit or it's the government's safety net card.
Okay, so shifting from the big picture to the nuts and bolts, let's start with the why and the when. This isn't the first time the government's pushed for this, but this final mandate, effective September 30, 2025, it feels non-negotiable for the last holdouts.
It really is.
So if the cost savings have always been so clear, why is the government only now mandating the shift for this final tiny group of beneficiaries?
That's a great question, because you're right. Previous mandates, like the one back in 2011, they captured about 99% of recipients.
So this is just the last 1%.
The last fraction of percent. And this final push is driven by two factors. One is economic, but the other one is really urgent.
Okay, let's start with the economic one.
Economically, the difference is just stark. A paper check costs the government about 50 cents to issue, to mail, to track.
50 cents per check.
Per check. An electronic transfer. It costs less than 15 cents. When you multiply that by millions of payments, the savings are just massive.
Right, operational efficiency. But like I said, those savings were there a decade ago. It sounds like the more urgent driver has to be security.
Precisely. The U.S. Treasury literally calls the paper check the front door for fraud.
The front door for fraud. Wow.
Think about it. A paper check sits in a mailbox. It's vulnerable to theft. It can be altered and cashed by criminals. Sometimes weeks can go by before you even realize it's missing.
And going electronic just cuts that off at the knees.
Instantly. It just shuts down that entire attack vector. So this wasn't just a cost-saving measure. It was driven by the calculation that every single paper check issued was a potential and very costly liability.
It's a necessary lock on the system then. Now, this applies to Social Security, SSI, VA benefits, all of it. But nearly everyone isn't absolutely everyone. You said fewer than 1% still get paper checks. There have to be exceptions, right? Waivers.
There are, and that's where context really matters. The Treasury recognizes that certain populations face, real systemic barriers to using digital payments. So they grant waivers, but only in what they call rare circumstances.
Okay, and how do they define rare?
It's generally defined by three criteria. You have to meet one of these. First, the recipient is age 90 or older.
Okay.
Second, the recipient has mental impairment that creates a proven hardship to using electronic payments. And third, you live in a remote geographic area that truly lacks the infrastructure for electronic transactions.
It seems like those are designed specifically to protect the most vulnerable or people who are just geographically cut off. But you can't just assume you'll get one.
No, you have to be proactive. If you believe you qualify under one of those three hardship criteria, you have to contact the U.S. Treasury Electronic Payment Solution Center waiver line.
And do we have that number?
We do. The number to request that waiver is 1-855-290-1545. It's an official process. It's not automatic.
Okay, let's shift gears now to the main path, which is direct deposit into a bank account. This gets to a big concern that was raised by you, our listener. Specifically, this worry that BMO Bank is known for not working with other financial institutions.
Right.
The fear is that this might cause problems for federal disability payments like SSDI or SSI. So is BMO incompatible?
Let me be absolutely clear here. That specific claim is a misconception. BMO Bank is a federally chartered, regulated institution. It fully participates in the standard network used for, almost all electronic transfers in the U.S.
The ACH network.
The ACH, the Automated Clearinghouse, federal benefits, Social Security, all of it is processed through the standard network. BMO is legally and technically required to accept these deposits, just like Chase, Wells Fargo, or any credit union.
So the problem isn't the bank refusing the money, it's more more likely confusion during the setup process.
Exactly. The key takeaway here, and this is really important, is that the responsibility for setting up or changing your direct deposit lies entirely with you and the Social Security Administration, the SSA, not the bank. The bank is just the final destination.
This actually seems like a good time to bring up the federal protections that you have as a recipient.
Oh, this is crucial. This is information people need right now as they're making these choices.
So what are these specific protections?
We have to connect this to the bigger picture of your rights. There's a federal regulation, 31 CFR Part 210, that sets the rules for these electronic transfers, and it gives you two major protections.
Okay, what's the first one?
First, banks have to give you 30 days advance notice before they close your account, unless there's, proven fraud. This stops them from just suddenly closing your account and leaving you stranded.
And the second one, that seems really relevant here.
It is. Financial institutions cannot discriminate against you based on the source of your federal income. So if BMO or any other bank were to deny you an account just because your main income is from SSA disability, that would be a violation of federal rules.
That immediately changes the power dynamic. It shifts the whole conversation from, can my bank do this, to my bank is legally required to handle this.
Exactly.
So knowing you have that protection, let's walk through the steps for a smooth transition to a new account, like that BMO account you asked us about.
Step one is simple. Gather your specific account info. You'll need the complete BMO account number and the precise BMO routing number for your region.
Those can be different depending on where you live.
They are state or region specific, so you absolutely have to double check that detail on the BMO website or on a recent check.
Once you have that info secured, then you contact the SSA.
Correct. And the fastest, most recommended way is online. You log into your personal My Social Security account at saa.gov. You select Update Direct Deposit under your benefits and payment details.
What if you're not comfortable online?
You can call the National SSA Hotline. That number is 1-800-772-1213. Or you can always visit a local office in person to make sure the contact points are easy to find.
What about the timeline? These transitions are never immediate, right?
They're not. Direct deposit changes usually take 1 to 2 full payment cycles to take effect. That means 30 to 60 days.
A month or two.
Yes. And this is maybe the single most vital piece of advice we can give. Do not close your old bank account until you have successfully received at least 2 benefit payments into the new one.
That's a huge risk if you jump the gun.
A huge risk. You could have your payment routed to a closed account and then face weeks of delays getting it reissued.
So BMO is technically capable, but we also noticed in our research that customer feedback suggests some beneficiaries prefer other places, maybe ones that offer more tailored services.
Right.
You mentioned a few highly rated alternatives. Why should someone even consider those?
We included these because choosing a bank is about more than just, can it technically do the job. Alliant Credit Union, for example, is highly rated because it's a nationwide, fee-friendly credit union.
And they do early direct deposits sometimes.
They do. Funds can show up a couple of days early. Then there's Navy Federal Credit Union if you're eligible, which is fantastic for military families who are often VA benefits recipients.
And Chase Bank, what's the advantage there? It has a huge physical footprint.
And that's exactly its advantage. For someone who needs or just prefers in-person support, Chase has that huge branch network. That is critical if you need an issue resolved face-to-face or if you just don't want a purely digital banking relationship. These options just offer different advantages depending on what you need.
That deeper context is immensely helpful. But what if a bank account isn't an option at all? For people who are unbanked, what's the government's mandatory electronic safety net?
That safety net is the Direct Express Debit MasterCard. This is the official prepaid debit card sponsored by the U.S. Treasury. It's issued by Comerica Bank, and it's the default for anyone who can't or chooses not to open a traditional bank account.
It's designed to be really accessible, but it's so important to understand the rules of these prepaid cards. What are its core features?
Well, it requires no credit check, no minimum balance, and the funds are FDIC insured up to the legal limit. So you get basic protection. You enroll by calling their center at 1-800-333-1795. But, and this is a big but, this is where we have to drill into the fine print that can really impact your budget.
Exactly. Let's talk about using it day to day. Where are the traps?
Okay, so purchases are free anywhere debit MasterCard is accepted. The critical rule is about getting cash. You get 1 free ATM withdrawal per federal benefit deposit per month.
Just one.
Just one. If you need a second withdrawal from an ATM, it costs 85 cents. plus whatever fee the ATM owner might charge. So you have to be really strategic about that one free withdrawal.
That forces some disciplined budgeting.
It does. Now, there are other ways to get cash for free. You can get cash back with a purchase at a lot of retailers. Or you can go inside any bank that has the MasterCard logo and get cash from a teller for free.
What about the fees that just kind of chip away at the balance? Our sources noted a few.
There are a couple of unavoidable ones. If you try to transfer money from the Direct Express card to a personal bank account, maybe to family members, that's a $1.50 fee.
Okay.
And this one sounds small, but 75 cents for a paper statement. For someone on a tight budget who relies on paper for tracking, this is a forced choice between transparency and, conserving every last cent.
That really puts those small fees in perspective. But the operational risk that stood out to me involves authorization of holds. Those can be devastating.
This is probably the biggest functional difference between a prepaid card and a regular bank account. If you use the Direct Express card for something that requires an estimated hold, like renting a car or booking a hotel, the vendor might place a hold of $300 to $500 on the card. That money is instantly inaccessible to you, potentially for weeks until the hold is officially released.
Wait, so if someone is running on empty, they have maybe $200 left, that authorization hold could temporarily zero out their remaining funds and make their bills bounce. That's the real world risk, isn't it?
It is. It's a massive functional risk. You have to treat the card differently. Even something as common as paying at the pump at a gas station can put a temporary hold on your funds.
So what's the workaround for that?
To avoid those holds at the pump, you have to bypass the card reader outside and pay the cashier in person inside the station. That way you're only charged the exact amount you pump.
So whether you choose a bank or the Direct Express card, the reality is your financial life is moving online fast. This requires a new focus on digital security. What are the key steps you need to take now?
Your first line of defense is just robust password hygiene. You should change your password at least every 72 days. And when you're creating them, avoid easily linked personal info, your pet's name, your birthday, parts of your SSN, and always log off when you're done.
We have to talk about scams. Phishing is a massive risk when you make this transition.
Absolutely. The rule is simple. Delete any email asking for your personal financial information. The SSA, the VA, major banks, they will not email you asking for your account number or password. If you get something suspicious, verify it using a trusted phone number, like that national SSA number, 1-800-772-1213. Never click a link in a suspicious email.
Device protection is also paramount here.
It is. Keep your operating systems updated, make sure you have a firewall, and probably the most important proactive step, monitor your accounts regularly, your bank account, your SSA account. Catching a weird transaction early is the best way to reverse it.
Beyond payments, the SSA is also pushing for paperless notices. This affects how you get important documents. How can you manage that part of the shift?
If you're comfortable with it, you can opt in to secure online notices. This just means the SSA will stop sending you paper copies. You do this by logging into your My Social Security account, go to the Message Center or Preferences, and select I only want secure online notices.
And there's a real advantage to doing this, especially next year, right?
There is a timeline benefit, yeah. Beneficiaries who opt in can see critical details, like the new cost of living adjustment, or TOLA, up to 3 weeks earlier than people waiting for paper mail in 2026.
But there is an exception.
There is one important legal exception. People who have a representative payee managing their benefits, they can't fully opt out of paper notices.
For those who are nervous about all of this, or just need more instruction on how to navigate online finance, there are support systems out there.
Yeah, organizations are working hard to bridge this digital literacy gap. Senior Planet from AARP offers a course called Ready, Set, Bank. The National Disability Institute provides free financial counseling. Even the government is providing resources through the FDIC and the CFPB. They developed a curriculum called Money Smart for older adults to prevent fraud.
And that gets to the infrastructure point.
Yeah.
This mandate requires access. We're even seeing states acknowledge this. New Mexico, for example, has a program to refurbish and distribute computers to community members. It just underscores that the policy needs both the mandate and the access and skills to manage it.
So to summarize this whole deep dive, end of paper checks by September 30, 2025. It's mandatory for almost everyone. It's driven by cost savings and, more importantly, defending against check fraud. Your two non-paper options are direct deposit, which standard banks like BMO are required to accept, or the Direct Express card. That's the official prepaid card for the unbanked, but it requires careful management to avoid fees and holds.
So what does this all mean for you right now? The most important action is preparation. You have to choose your electronic path, confirm your information with the SSA, and most importantly, know your federal rights under 31 CFR Part 210.
That knowledge is power.
It is. Since we established that banks can't discriminate against you based on the source of your federal disability income, and they have to give you 30 days notice before closing an account, unless there's fraud, your protective step is proactive documentation.
So what specific steps should you take today to document and protect that banking relationship? Start maintaining simple paper records of all your account information. Document every single communication you have with your bank and with the SSA about your benefits. Knowing your rights is step one. Making sure you have evidence to enforce them, well, that's the necessary final step for financial resilience.